So I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. You can still hear the wind noise, huh? Even through the microphone and the little windshield. Goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of wind. I think it might be affecting our internet. Our antennae seem stable, but our internet very much isn't. I don't know how it's looking on the other side. Maybe I should just switch to mobile data. Like I cannot even open chat on the other side. Shell, it's nice having you here. Shan, sending you love too, dear friend. It's a windy day. Today's stream topic is a big one. Hey Dan, nice having you here, brother bear. Today's stream topic, for me at least, is a big one. It is the reality of multiplicity and unity, infinity and oneness, right? The fact that we are all aware that at least, conceptually, there is infinity, right? There is an unending set somewhere. There has to be, if there is something that everything is contained within, right? And yet, you are that thing in which everything is contained. And not only is it contained within you, but you have the experience of it as a oneness, right? That we have this understanding of our entire past, everything that has ever happened to us, every food item we have eaten, every drink of water, every conversation, leading up to who we are in this moment, and then what's going to happen going into the future. And not only everything that has happened to you from the past leading up to this moment, but there were things happening for your ancestors and your ancestors' ancestors and your ancestors' ancestors' ancestors for you to be here right now, right? The layers of infinity just keep going in both directions, and we are always smack dab in the center of it, having one experience of that infinity. And I find that beautiful and trippy. And I'm happy to be able to share this moment with you, friends. I don't seem to be able to use my Wi-Fi. I really don't like it when the Wi-Fi doesn't work. I really don't like it. It's like, oh wow, Mel, really? Oh, you're so original. Oh, you're so special. You like it when things work? You must be like some sort of model for human behavior or something. Oh goodness. At least I have data. And it seems like the YouNow side is kind of working, but okay. Let's see if I can get the chat to work right now. Let me reach out for now. Ezra, love you. Coco's here too. Look at that. So much love it. Zano is here as well. Let me see if I'm missing anybody. Nancy even as well. I didn't hear the wind noise, even better. No wind noise in your ears today, dear friends. We got microphones. I'm so grateful that we got our, USB port fixed. Don't have to stress about not having microphones anymore. Get to sit in windy weather like this. I had to tie my hair up. I had my hair this side, and then as soon as I sat down, my hair went, and I was like, please, please, hair, please. And then I went and got myself a rubber band, freaking tied that shiznit up. You stay. But the wind doesn't care. I was like, nah, I'm gonna still get some of them. Hey again, Ezra, love to you. Zano, so much love and stuck that. Good morning, you wonderful goose eggs of substance. Yes, infinite substance. I'm clearing my room and workspace while tuning in today. It's gonna feel so good. Yes, Dad. Yeah, manifest cleanly spaces. Horizontal surfaces without any clutter on them. Jovan is here too, sending so much love in. Thank you, friend. JV, nice seeing you. We have Duck Deck saying, Melty, we manifested PK yesterday right after you left. He claimed he was scrolling. But did you have something to do with that? Nope. Nope, I didn't. I mean, I would like to be like, yeah, I am actually so great. I totally reached out individually to him, sent him links to make sure he gets to your stream. But the universe provides even more than I could ever hope to. We talked about him, right? Like I do believe in manifestation, dude. We talked about him. We summoned his energy from the ethereal infinity, and the oneness of him crystallized into the space. I wish I could say I was surprised. I'm happy instead. Thank you for sharing that with me. Coco saying, Joe Bot, good to see you again too. Thank you for saying love and Coco. How are you doing? Morning to you, Joe. Shell sending love as well. Thank you. I love that there are so many friends coming in and out, but I keep up with the hellos. It is an experience. It is an experience, dude. And it's something that I feel is almost like you learn how to do it. And you're already good at it, by the way. Like you're surprisingly good at it, Doc Dad. Yes, how did you get so good so quickly? Teach me how you got so good so quickly so that I can get better as well. I'm gonna drink the rest of my coffee. Black bean juice make my brain go fast. Yeah. Thank you, adenosine molecules, for rushing into my brains, taking up all of my receptors, boosting dopamine. Ooh, thank you, little caffeine molecules, for taking up all the receptors in my brains. I'm trying to set an intention for that caffeine molecules. I'm like, just imagining them like, ooh, ooh, happily marching into my brain. Mm, love you. I got some remedy water. It's so nice right now. It's that cold where it's not like hurting your teeth cold, but very nice. This is that cold right now. This is nice. I'm thinking about the amount of water molecules I'm consuming right now. Hey Google, how many water molecules are there in a glass of water? Oh my goodness. 10 to the power 23. So 6.10 to the power 23. So I believe that is 6 point, or just 6 with what? 23 zeros of molecules in like a 250 ml glass of water. It shit breaks my brain, yo. Oh no, it's even more. 6.6 times 10 to the power of 24. So it's an extra zero. And unfathomable, right? Technically, just as well, infinity. If you had to spend time, right, in the way that we consider it now, counting each one of the water molecules you consume in a single glass of water, that would take you an infinity. And yet, casually, you can just drink one of a glass of water, right? Completely oblivious of the fact that you're consuming the infinity. That is what today's whole stream is going to be about, for me at least. And I don't know what I'm supposed to say necessarily. Where do we even start? I think one of the questions we can start with is the question of what was before you were born, right? Or looking at an object in your space, you know, where was it before it existed? How many things had to happen leading up to that thing's existence? And then you can imagine it, 50 years, 100 years, 500 years into the future as well. See if it remains. Watch it disappear even. How are we supposed to cope with the fact of infinity and unity at the same time, if not for the ego. It's like you have this part of yourself that is tasked to keep you at least relatively sane, right? It is sane to try and preserve your own body. It is sane to make sure you drink enough water. It is sane to not try and jump out of windows and see if you can fly. It's good to have an ego sometimes. But it's this weird juxtaposition that I find myself in these days of realizing what we're trying to do with these streams, consciously evolving. We're trying to use, which a lot of people in our current culture, especially in the spiritual community, like to see as evil, the ego, something that needs to be melted away, something that we need to rid ourselves of. We need to rid ourselves of ego, where I believe what we're trying to do is befriend our egos, right? It's like we're trying to imagine that, scene from, am I forgetting it? No, please. The treasure skull? No, come on. You friends might know what I'm talking about. That scene where he swaps out, a bag of beans or whatever for the skull. And like we're trying to do that with ourselves, trying to swap the belief system of oneness, right? Like, oh, there's only me. There's only this little fleshy part of myself, and if this fleshy part of myself dies, I'll perish forever. Versus, oh, I am the everything, the infinity, right? And they're so stark, and yet they're the same thing. How can we convince our egos to embrace the understanding of infinity over its own mortality, its own experience? Are we even supposed to? Right? I ask myself the question every single day is, how can we unify everybody? Like, goodness, it's difficult. Oh goodness. Like I'm just watching China. How can I how is it even remotely possible, right? Like this is something I'm trying to think about doing. But I don't know if it's something that could be done. Having China and America just completely play open cards with one another. Start reaching out to one another, give each other technology, share our semiconductor, development, share our AI research, share our medicine, share everything. Why? Why is it so difficult for us to do that? And then I understand there is dominance, there is the power of information, there is the upper hand that people want to keep. But again, that I think at least originates from this perspective of it is one versus everything instead of one as everything. When we see ourselves as combating, fighting over only one thing, the one earth that we have, it creates a motivation for us to keep playing our cards close to our chest, to have these exclusionary rules. And like I feel China might have already constructed its own downfall, but I don't want it to fall, right? I, as much as any other person, want the dictatorship, the tyranny of that dictatorship, the tyranny over people's freedoms and their ability to be autonomous individuals. But the country failing and people starving of hunger because infrastructure falls apart, that is not something any of us want. So how can we unite one another without war, without incentive? That's the thing in my mind, right? Like I'm trying to think about a way to unite us that doesn't require incentive. Like I don't have to explain it. It should just make sense. It's like actually, just like bear with me for a second. I know you feel like you're one person. I know. But if you consider that all of us feel like we're one person, and all of us are a part of the everything, right? 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 So, by that extent, maybe we have to take care of everything, benefiting every single one person, including you. Oh, goodness. Am I naive? Am I naive? Is that what's happening right now? I don't want to believe I'm naive. I would like to believe that there's a way. It's like, yeah, yeah, Mel, have you seen human history? That shit's impossible. No, please. I don't want to see human history. Just like so much murdering. so much. Please stop. Stop doing that. Stop it. Okay, let me get back to chat for just a little bit at least. Joe Schmo is here too, sending you lovin's. Horizontal surfaces equals clutter in my world, same as Rog. Horizontal surfaces are like magnets. Like I love putting things down. I hate holding on to things and carrying them around. And if there's a horizontal surface, it's just like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put you I'm gonna put you down right there. I am watching at work, lol staff meeting at 10:30. I'm glad you liked my names. I like my memes. We love you always. Susanna, thank you for sharing with us. Horizontal surfaces have no clutter. Melty putting me on blast again. Like the only reason I'm capable of putting you on blast, Duck Dad, is because I'm you, dude. I do that. I'm me. Man. I do that too. Like otherwise, I would just be like, "What do you mean? Why would you want to clean things? What's the point? My room is always clean. My horizontal surfaces are always pristine." No. I love that there are so many friends coming. Again, love, thank you. Brother PK said he was going to quit streaming due to issues with platforms since Arpan. He didn't know he could stream on YouTube. He needs 50 subs to do it. He is how I got started. I want to help. Do you have his name in chat? Maybe like if you say, I don't know if it's like the same, the PK Ripper on YouTube, but I'll go and give him a sub as well. I'll post this link. Please do. Motivation, please, please. Watch PK Yossi. I almost got fucked up. Sure. Oh goodness, that would have not been nice. At least I have writing reflexes. Oh goodness. The sun has been putting me on blast. And I wanted to have a sun shield today. But that sun shield is also a windshield. Creating thrust on a vector that is completely aimed at me. I suddenly feel like I'm in danger now. I'm like, oh goodness, I didn't anticipate the wind would be that strong. Oh, Doc, that I learned that PK was one of the most beautiful hearts I've met. He is. He does what he does, for the sake of love as well. Hey, everyone, have you secured your Tuesday tacos? Now's the time to check. Nice. Thank you for joining us, friend. It's nice having you. I'll have freaking more tacos one day. Like I feel like I've been missing out on so many Taco Tuesdays. I'll have to like eat myself into a food coma. By the time I get to have some, Joe is saying, Melty, it was pretty cool how PK showed up and decided to hang with us for Duck Dad on his awesome stream yesterday. Duck does a great job hosting. He really does, doesn't he? Like he makes the stream a nice place to be. He opens the space, right? That's beautiful, dude. Somewhere we can kind of like sit and know that we are loved, right? Yeah, this space is opened for love, and here I am loving it. It is so nice. PK Heart is second to none. He was the OG of streaming on Reddit, and he loves doing streaming just for the fun of it. Let's be dream makers today. Thank you. Please do. Maybe like tag us. I think you might have already tagged us in his profile. They was pretty good. Nachos sounds delicious. I just posted thank you for the link. Jelly on my nachos. Made my what? Jelly off my nachos. I was about to say, Joy Viv. Me reading your comments incorrectly again. Well, give me that. You're always welcome at the table. Hey, Nick. It's nice having you as well, dear friend. Sending you good vibes. How are you doing? Oh, great, Happy Christ. Thank you for keeping my plants alive and safe another night in the grow shack. You do have a little fractal there keeping you safe, after all. I'll give you a clue. In the times of the Bible history, no other country involved the creator history teaching. Give you a clue. In times of Bible history, no other country involved the creator history teaching. Temple of Doom. I don't know exactly what that means, Nick, but I'm gonna take it as other countries weren't teaching the same things as the Bible when the Bible were teaching the things they were teaching. That's the way I'm interpreting your message. I don't know if it's true, but I feel every single culture builds their own religion because for some reason we have a hard time understanding where we fit in with infinity and coming to the conclusion that we are the infinity and we get to choose our own divinity, our own direction to go into is a little bit daunting. Puts the responsibility on you. Speaking chair, I'm watching you, chair. Won't knock my teeth out today, dude. I like my teeth. Mel duties. So far. Love to you, friend. Indiana Jones. There we go. Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Yes, Indiana freaking Jones. I want to build a long table that is big enough for all of us to sit at. How long would that table have to be? Joel is here too. I hope you can. Like, I'm just imagining that scene where I think it was on Family Guy, where they just keep building the tables longer and longer. And then one of the dudes, the king, chokes on the other side of the table, and the doctor has to like run. And because the table is so long, he doesn't get there in time, and the king dies. And then they completely like backtracked and made the smallest tables possible. And then and I'm watching you stop it. Stop it. Don't even think about it. And then do like mega meal throw down for all of us to dish up and dig into. That sounds nice. I will give option Abraham. God said Abraham, the father of all nation. I feel like your messages are confusing me a little bit. China is the weakest country of war, but in business, exactly, China is number one in business. Oh yeah, very much so. They employ a lot of people. They employ a lot of people. They have a lot of people in general. I just think about how much food, how much water, how much energy it takes to keep 1.4, no, 1.1. Hey Google, what is the population of the Chinese country? The Chinese country, China. Oh, 1.4 billion. I was thinking more about the Asian continent, and then I said Chinese country. But 1.4 billion human beings. That's a lot of human beings. That's like hundreds of thousands of metric tons of food a day. Zzz, 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 getting melted away, disappearing. The only reason I think about it is again from this one and infinity perspective. The Chinese society have this way to want to uplift the infinity, the unity, the whole, but would do so at the expense of the individual, right? So if the whole would benefit from having intercontinental or intercity, trains, and they need to build those trains over land, the people that used to occupy those lands get displaced. They get removed from those lands and they get compensated, but they have to move into like some sort of apartment. Not the space they grew up in, not the space that they found comfort living in, right? And that could potentially be detrimental to the individual, even though it benefits the whole. It benefits the infinity, but not the one. Ah, man. Fractals. So many fractals, oh goodness. It only gets more complex the more we know. Ultimately, China and the US can't share and prosper together because of fear and delusion. Totally deluded into believing we're separate and fearful of one another as a result. Yeah, generation after generation of propaganda, of stereotypes, of fear, as you beautifully said. Separation, right? This perspective that we are us and we do things a certain way and they are them and they do things a certain way. By the way, we all eat food. We all breathe air. We all make sounds with our faces to be understood, at least right now. We all have eyes with which we see the world. We all have limbs, appendages with which we manipulate. Right? On the most fundamental level, every single one of us are the same, one and the same. Sure, all of us have our own unique fractals we get to experience from different perspectives, but that doesn't make any other person's perspective any less worthy of experience, right? And I feel the weirdest thing with exclusionary cultures where we shun a whole side of society, we leave ourselves less for it, right? Like you're quite literally, as a collective, less infinite because you have cut out so much data, so many points of reference. And I feel, fortunately, with the future we're heading into, I believe the information slash communication gap is going to close. We're going to be able to actually talk to one another in real time, be it, earphones that live translate the words they say, them having earphones in their ears that live translates the words we say, or be it the next step of just BCIs, being able to connect the parts of your brain that represent communication directly to the other person, right? So instead of you having to almost like snipe the words that are attached to certain associations in your mind, you just stimulate those associations of mind in the other person. You give them the exact thing you're talking about. And it'll still be different in part, but I feel we would be able to understand one another maybe a little bit better. Just like, for instance, with these streams, how like our intention with these streams are fundamentally to show up for love. And even as such, it is still possible for me to misinterpret what you friends say sometimes. Even though I know you're saying what you're saying from a place of love, there's still room for me to misinterpret. And I feel that is possibly, potentially, what has been happening, is that it's this massive misinterpretation of one another. The misinterpretation of fear and separation, right? Believing that we're supposed to be somehow differently. Hopefully there will be grilled seafood. I haven't had too many grilled seafood myself. That sounds kind of nice. I've never done it. I never get to do it anymore, Joe. But one of my favorite things to do is go ham and cook a giant meal for friends. Sounds nice. Nick, what are you talking about? I'm also confused a little bit. Joy Vive, if it's in the Midwest, we will make you some walleye. Best there is in these parts. I have no idea what that is. Mel's gone political. Watch out, here comes the comments. Was I being political? I wasn't trying to be political. I'm actually trying to be the furthest thing from it. I'm trying to be humanist. Is that right? Hey, Google. What is humanist? Humanist. Humanism is a philosophical stance that emphasizes the individual and social potential and agency of human beings, whom it considers the starting point for serious moral and philosophical inquiry. Yeah. That the problem isn't with country. The problem actually isn't, with them being Chinese and us being South Africans, Americans, Croatians, Australians, etc., etc., etc. The problem is our identification with believing I am a South African. And because I'm South African, I can't be Chinese, right? And because I can't be Chinese, I surely can't understand what Chinese people must be thinking or feeling or their way of communicating, when that is false. We are all humans. We all have some base level of morality coded into our beings. And I believe this from a practical standpoint for evidence, right? That if we were just going around murdering and stealing from one another constantly, we would have murdered and stolen each other into extinction at this point. So the fact that we haven't, at least to me, says that we have evolved not to. We realize that, hey, collaboration with these entities you cannot escape from, right? Like there's no escaping Earth. Unfortunately, none of us have rocket thrusters as a biological evolution, to just thrust ourselves off of the planet and be like, oh wait, it was nice hanging, human beings, but I'm gonna be like, peace, and fly off the planet. No, you're gonna have to spend time with humans for the rest of your life. So you might as well get good at it. Realize that they are, like you, also a part of the same infinity that we all are, contributing to it. 8 billion songs. 8 billion. 8 billion human beings. That's so many people, yo. Can you even fathom? No, I don't think we can. 1,000 people. 1,000. All right, 6,000 people. 10,000 people. A whole stadium. Sports stadium stacked. 10,000 people. All right, 30,000 people. 100,000 people. America has like what, 210 million in the entire country. 210 million human beings. 1 billion human beings. There's 1 billion human beings in India alone, I believe. Billion human beings. 8 billion in total. Speaking different languages, having different cultures, eating different foods. And yet all of us, on the most primary level, seek love. Love in relationships, love in family, love in food, love in taking care of the self, love in just continuing our own existence, right? That even in suffering, like this is the thing that's particularly fascinating to me about human existence, is that humans want to exist. Everything wants to exist, even if that existence is layered in extreme suffering, right? Like this is breaking my heart just to think about, but I'm thinking about the USSR and what they did to human beings. How people were literally starving to death. They had to eat their own children. I feel like it's evil just to speak about it, and yet I feel it's evil not to as well. To pretend like these things didn't happen to us literally within a lifetime, right? One human lifetime ago, these things were still happening. Where we are right now. And on top of all of those things, like the point I'm trying to get at is how even in starving to death, people were holding on until they died, right? Like the amount of suffering you must be experiencing to starve to death, I cannot even imagine. I cannot even imagine. And yet we don't give up. Things that live want to live, even if that living is steeped in so much suffering. We really understand the value of being one, at least temporarily, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's not the best experience one can have, we'll have it. Because we realize, we understand that being one, at least one as you are right now, one as Pippi is, right? One body, one embodied experience, is rare. It's one of the most rare things in the universe. I believe even in the multiverse. I think so. I might be wrong. I think there's more energy, right? Like the ability to be embodied energetically, a light body, than there is the potential to be embodied as flesh, as a person, right? Because with light, for instance, like a computer, if I created a character, right? And let's say I can connect him to like chat models and stuff as well, like ChatGPT, give him like a personality. He answers things in a certain quirky little way. It can feel like a person. It would pass the Turing test for me, right? As in, if I just had a conversation with it, I would become convinced it might just as well be a person on the other side of it. Now, and let's say this entity gains some level of sentience, consciousness, embodiedness, right? In the way where it feels as consciousness, it is itself. Within a computer system, you can take all of those things that make it up and duplicate it, right? You can take all of the pixels that are represented on the screen of the other one, like maybe you made a character. You can take a screenshot and have now two screenshots, have two simultaneous instances of the thing running, three of them, four of them even. You can scale it up infinitely. So the point I'm trying to make, within light, within energy, it is significantly easier to make more of existence, to make more of experience, to make more of novelty than it is to do so within body, right? For us to spawn a new human being, it takes 9 months of what, digestion? What do you call that word? Pregnancy, right? 9 months of development within another human being so that consciousness can become embodied into this world. Where if I could take a copy, a perfect copy of myself and just keep pasting it, there would be more of me than we can count by the end of the day. Your embodied experience is valuable. Keep living. Keep living. Be curious, please. Continue to be curious. Talking about HIV in the Miss Web, Malcolm Taylor. I love men that cook. I love people in general, even the ones that don't cook. I feel kind of embarrassed for some people when they don't know how to cook sometimes. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know how to cook yourself scrambled eggs, dude? Like, what do you actually mean? You put the scrambled eggs in the pan and then you fucking scramble it though. Like, that's it. That's like that's what you do. What you and I realized that I can't is usually just a I don't want to. All right. And that's been an enlightening point to me too. Now we're too busy planning a group dinner to politic with Mel right now. It's okay. We Blue Man, Woman Group Joel. Same for me, Doug. 2 days of cooking. Love is true. Feeling very cluttered to be honest. Horizontal surface hell up in here. Start with one thing. Start with one thing and put it away. See if you can gain some momentum that way. Cut from the same cloth. I had 5 girls coming from my buddy's bachelor party. Oh goodness, I use a leaf blower for my cluttered surface. Good catch, yikes. That's okay, thank you, Ezrog. I use a leaf blower to sweep the house. I just open the back door and I start from one end of the house like pelvic thrust is the new disco dance. Reflex for the win. Dang Mel, that's so fast reflex. Thank you, friends. I have many functional crab piles, as my wife puts in. I have many functional crab piles, as my wife puts it. Mel, with that reflexes right there. You friends are flattering me. I just caught something hurling at my face. I feel if I got like straight up smackaroonied, I would probably deserve it. It was like, yeah, well, it is survival of the fittest after all. Universe, please stop stepping on me. Oh, no, 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 no. The danger now is Russia because everything is on the road. Yeah, and them trying to work with China to form a new currency. South Africa being a part of that incentive. Like, there's some funky things happening right now. The dual-sided perspective embraces the dirt and then fights with it. I think I missed one. My world gets cluttered. I'm okay with it for a few days, and then I wake up, deep clean the entirety of my environment so I can shake off the dust and start a new open canvas for a few days. Yeah, and it gets bad again. Like, it has to be like this cyclical thing, you know, purging yourself of all of the crazy. My darling daughter does not allow for an open canvas for more than 10 minutes, Joe. But I'm the same way. Sending you strength with that, Shan. I have a high tolerance for mess, but I'm slowly cleaning. I have a friend come in from SoCal this weekend. They aren't staying with me, but they'll be in and out. So I got some motivation. It is interesting how that works, huh? Like, having people come over suddenly prompts us to be a little bit more mindful because we look at our own space through the eyes of another person. Right? Like, it's double perspective, too much infinity. Now the one and the infinite mess that you have suddenly doubles because it's now 2 times the infinite mess that you have. You stay goodness, I got a freaking thing in my eyeball. Oh, it hurts. Oh, there's a bug in my eye now. Oh, it's so in my eye. Oh, goodness. Ah, get out of my eye, dude. I think it's biting me. Don't laugh at me, dude. Oh, shiznit. Oh, oh. Yeah, puppy, me too, yo. Oh, man, I hate that feeling. Like there's a piece of scratchy in your eyeball. Sorry for this. I just see it. Oh, no, the wind deposited a piece of debris inside of my softness. Oh, it's still in there. I think I'm gonna have to go and get myself a mirror. Just for a moment. Because it feels like if it's a bug, it's alive and it's trying to get out right now. Which I understand. I understand, dude. Just hold tight though. Just hold tight. I'll get you out in a second. I'm gonna leave you friends there. I don't know if the microphone will pick up. I need to get myself a mirror. Oh goodness. Als het ietsie in mijn ogen gewaai. I'm having a hard time getting it out. Like one of those experiences where if you close your eye and roll your eye around, then you can very much feel it, but you can't see it. Oh man. Is ek ja, ek's raai, dit is net ongemaklik. Being a human being, huh? Dankie, puppy. I appreciate you holding space for us. Multiplicity and unity, right? If I didn't allow myself this experience to be a part of the multiplicity and the unity at the same time, I wouldn't have the opportunity to get pieces of debris in my eyes. Yes, this is. Bruh. It's like moments like these where I wish I had like little bots inside of my blood. I can detect little foreign entities. It's like, yeah, get them, boys. I'm gonna lay back down, throw some water in my eyeballs. Any second. Ah. Oh, that shit sucks, yo. The stream took a turn. Meld suffers pieces of debris in his eyeballs. Title of the stream. Come on, dude. Find your way out. I believe in you. Text, voices are funny. Too easy to misunderstand a thought, tone of voice. Oh yeah, body language, exactly. So much. There's so much more being communicated. 340 million in the US, I believe. Even more than I thought. How about that? Rocket thrusters for Christmas. I love that. Okay. Grace Hands, it's nice having you here as well. I'm glad you're good, Joy. Sending you love. I think I'm in this one for the long haul. I love that feeling. I definitely have what the fuck moments. The redheads, my sister, 2 of the 3 kids. I don't know if any of you Juno friends are here. Like that thing is still in my eye. I can feel it. Yes, yeah, I can feel it. Every single impulse in my entire being is telling me to get whatever that is out of me. It's like, bro, there's a piece of debris inside of our body right now, and you need to do something about it. What am I supposed to do? I tried. Oh, I went to the mirror and everything. I think I might have to try a little bit harder. Maybe this will be the way today's stream ends. Oh, thank you, friends, for joining me. Love your words, Mel, as I love you, Grace Han. Thank you, friend, for being willing to tune into these words with me. My last 20 words were like, bruh, ooh, that sucks. Oh, fuck, So sometimes my words can be unfulfilled as well. Bug eye. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a bug. It feels like it was trying to run away or it was trying to find its way outside. And unfortunately, my eye is a globe. So since it wasn't walking towards the outside of my eye, it walked deeper probably or something. Your eye looks cheaty. Good to go, Melty. Thank you, Dan. You can read the spore water in your eyeball. I tried. Your friends were there for it. Universe just struck Melty temporarily blind. Like I can still see through it. It's kind of blurry, but I can still see through it. It's blurry. Yeah, yeah, probably. That's probably what's happening, JP. I'm doing that thing where you're like moving your eye, and I can feel it. I can feel it. I was checking your ego from getting too cocky with flying would save. Yeah, that's definitely what happened. It was like, oh yeah, you think you got reflexes? How about not being able to close your eye quick enough so that a piece of debris went straight into your wet eyeball? I switched to all electric power equipment, ego brand. My leaf blowers are hurricane strength and quiet. I love that. Trippy hearing the voiceover but not seeing what's going on. You got this, Mel. Thank you again, Dan. This is the universe checking your ego. The leaf blower. Melty just dropped the stream. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that now. Do you have eye drops? I think I do. Uh, it's out, and you have a small scratch on your eye. That might be it as well. Maybe I couldn't see the thing that I got. Like nothing came out, right? And I very much saw for a split second a black little spot before it went into my eyeball. Joe speaking facts. Use battery operated yard tools. Love is true. Dr. Drake, I take my garage cans out. Your words and what happened means more than most will understand. Thank you, Grace. Like, these are the ways that we learn. My cards are the wrong way. Little kitty in the background. We'll pull a card, finish today's stream, and then I'm gonna get whatever is inside of my eyeball out. This card, Elemental Embrace. Yeah, we got matchy matchy on the Karas. Look at that. Yeah. This card could blend into my clothing. I feel I got elementally embraced. Wind, the sun was shining so bright that I had to put the chair, pushing things on me, the earth almost falling, having things in my eyeballs, pieces of the elements, quite literally. Elemental forces and synthesis. Embedded within this card are two seven-sided stars. Seven is an integrating number, and here represents the synthesis of body, mind, and spirit with elemental forces. Seven indicates stages of transformation and a self-contained chronicle for quickening creativity. How can you more fully appreciate your connection with elemental forces? You may decide to put your hands in the earth and grow a garden. Water it and see how sunlight and air combine to feed you and enhance growth and beauty in your life. You may sit by a fire with your feet on the ground, watching sparks fly into the air on a dark summer's eve. Perhaps you will learn to enhance your living space through a discipline such as feng shui. In any way you choose, find an understanding of the relationship among elemental forces so that you may live in harmony within your environment and merge your everyday life with the magic and the mystery of the cosmos. Woo! Captain Melt Sparrow. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's not nice. But love is true. My eye wouldn't be letting me know that there is something that needs to be done if it didn't love me and value my sanity. Mel goes blind in 1A on the 825. 824. I can't even read anymore. Well, T, you have to get the rest. Love you, friends. Thank you for joining me, for spending this moment with me. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. We'll actually have like a day of dance as well. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, cheers.